Hold up.
Yo, what's going on, guys? It is FoxShooter98 here, and welcome back to a brand new video for you guys here on my channel. Today we are back with my F1 2016 Career Mode Season 4 Part 16. I believe this is now for the Malaysian Grand Prix. So we are here today. Thank you ever so much for tuning in. Thank you ever so much for watching. And if you do enjoy today's video, don't forget to click that like button and also subscribe if you have not subscribed to the channel already. But as you can see in the driver's standings, we've got a very comfortable lead out front against Lewis Hamilton with a gap of, I believe, 74 points. Hence, because of, if you haven't been keeping up with the series, Lewis Hamilton had back-to-back DNFs in Belgium and also in Italy, and I have managed to go through and win those two Grand Prix, making my title challenge a lot easier than it probably should have been. But we are here for the Malaysian Grand Prix, and we're getting closer to an engine upgrade, which is something that I wanted to do. So, as you can see here, we're onto the track acclimatization test, and we're getting all these practice programs complete. There's not a lot to talk about in terms of the F1 news, apart from Claire Williams has announced that Valtteri Bottas' future should be decided by this week, which means that the move to Mercedes-Benz that Bottas is expected to go to is in the line to be completed by the end of the week, which is a very big storyline there. So Valtteri Bottas looks like he will go to Mercedes-Benz for the 2017 season. Of course, Mercedes said they wanted to get the negotiations with all the contracts and the drivers signed before Christmas of last year, but the negotiations were very slow, so they decided to take it into next year, of course, 2017, which we're in now. So, very interesting stuff there. So let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Do you think Bottas deserves the seat? I've already expressed my opinion. I honestly don't think he does. But you guys can argue and counter my argument. Everyone's got their own opinion. And we're going to move on with that. So, into the qualifying session we go. Now, Malaysia's traditionally not a strong track for me, I'm not going to lie. I do lead, I have been quite strong around Malaysia in the first and third sector. But my advantage that I gain in the first and third sector, say it's half a second, I lose it all in the middle sector. So we need to work on it here. But as you can see, into Q1, we were about 3/100ths of a second quicker than Sebastian Vettel, which is a very nice job indeed. And then we have got the likes of the Red Bulls and Mercedes behind. Into Q2 we go, and we're going to be doing something a little bit different. We're actually going to be starting on the medium compound tyres for this Grand Prix. So that's exactly what we're going to try and do. And hopefully it works out for us, because obviously Lewis Hamilton started on the super soft tyres in Singapore, and he went on and won the Grand Prix from it. So that was pretty impressive from Hamilton. As we can see here, a lot of drivers actually went for the medium compound tyres. I believe myself, Vettel, one of the Red Bulls, and Rosberg, I believe, all went for mediums to start with, which is pretty big. Now, as you can see here, into Q3 we go. We're going to come across the line here and beat Lewis Hamilton's lap time to set the fastest lap, but it all depends on where Sebastian Vettel sets his lap time, and you can just see it there. He did not manage to beat my lap time, which means that we are going to get yet another pole position, which of course is kind of a necessity for me, really, because my against Ultimate AI, my one lap pace, I can blitz them all. But again, endurance to start racing, e.g. the race, is a lot harder in terms of trying to keep the tyres in a working range for a long distance. But as you can see then, we're stacking at the resource points, and we've got enough to make that engine upgrade that I wanted to, but we are going to make that upgrade at the end of the race as we start to get ever closer to beating Lewis Hamilton in the rivalry. But we are going to listen to the session objectives from Emma, and then we're going to get into the main event, which of course is the Malaysian Grand Prix.
With that then, let's run through the grid order. It's Ferrari in pole position then, with Sebastian Vettel starting alongside. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Hamilton, Verstappen, Daniel Ricciardo, and Rosberg, Bottas, Perez, Button, and Carlos Sainz. Kvyat, Alonso, Felipe Massa, and Hulkenberg, Grosjean, Magnussen, Jolyon Palmer, and Pascal Wehrlein. Gutierrez, and Haryanto, Felipe Nasser, and Marcus Ericsson rounds off the grid. And with preparations almost complete, let's head down to the track.
Alright then, guys, as you can see, we're on the grid now here for the Malaysian Grand Prix. We're going to be starting on the medium compound tyres, like I said, and then we're going to be doing a two-stop race, putting on a set of hard tyres, and then another set of hard tyres. So we definitely going with a lot of much more slower style Grand Prix here by going medium, hard, whereas a lot of the other drivers may go like soft, hard. But what that does mean is we will be able to utilize, I can't get my words out, the hard compound tyre stints, and we're going to be able to push on them a little bit more than those on the soft tyres will, because they're going to be coming in a little bit earlier than we will. So, as you can see, we are now going to start on the formation lap, get things underway here, and of course we've got myself and Vettel on the front row of the grid, but odds on Vettel losing out at the start, because he's lost out at the start, I think, in the last like 4 or 5 Grand Prix. Vettel has been horrific, but as you can see here, we're on the grid now here for the Malaysian Grand Prix. We've got 5 red lights for this Malaysian Grand Prix, and it's lights out. There we go for the Malaysian Grand Prix, and we've had a good start, a very nice start indeed from us. Oh, and look at that. Is that Sebastian Vettel losing out at the start? He's been absolutely swamped back there, and Sebastian Vettel, but we're going to go into turn 1 in the lead of the Malaysian Grand Prix, and I believe that's Max Verstappen making a diving move. Is that Verstappen or that's Ricciardo making a diving move down the inside of Lewis Hamilton, and into turn 2 we go. We are in the lead of this Grand Prix with the Red Bull behind, with the 2 Mercedes, then another Red Bull, then a Williams, and then Vettel. Vettel has gone so far down after this start. It's another horrific start for Vettel in this Malaysian Grand Prix, and as you can see here, myself leads, Ricciardo is now in second, Rosberg is up into third. So all the medium compound tyre drivers, apart from Vettel, who's ruined the trend, has gone up into the top 3 spots. And the soft tyre runners, weirdly enough, have not capitalised on this stint. So as you can see then, moving on to lap 4 of the Grand Prix, Hamilton has now managed to get past Rosberg, but Rio Haryanto is the first casualty of this Malaysian Grand Prix, unfortunately. I'm sorry, Rio. I believe you did retire in the last race in Singapore, and unfortunately the luck is not going to change for Haryanto. So as you can see, he's battling with Esteban Gutierrez, and then round the final corner, his engine blows up and he pulls off to the side here, and that is his race over and done with. Skipping further on then into lap 7 of the Grand Prix, I'm now going to be making my pit stop for a set of the hard tyres, and I was actually one of the last drivers to make my pit stops. As you can see, coming into the pits now, we go very wide here, all over the grass, because I hate the pit entry in Malaysia, and we're going to come in for the pit stop, so that was kind of weird. But I was one of the last people to make my pit stops. Everyone else made their pit stops a little bit earlier than I did. Of course, the soft tyre runners made their stops a lot earlier, and then the medium compound tyre runners actually made their stop a lap before me. But I decided to carry on and go to my pit window, because I don't want to lose out on the tyre compounds. So as you can see then, we're coming out of the pits now. We've got a couple of drivers in front here who are all racing outwards. I believe that's a Toro Rosso, Force India and a McLaren that we're all having a ding-dong battle. But as you can see, we've just come out in behind Pascal Wehrlein in the manor, which is a little bit disappointing for myself, which means I'm definitely going to need to get past him. But there are the other drivers there. There are my rivals. You just saw Ricciardo and Hamilton there behind a Renault. All closing up to the back of a Renault. So we managed to stay in front of them. So the undercut didn't work for them. In the top of your screen said, there are all my main rivals, a little bit further back than I am. So we definitely need to get the hammer down now and start pressing onwards, because these guys are definitely going to want to capitalise on the battles ahead. Moving on to lap 10 of the Grand Prix now, and as you can see, we're closing up to the back of Fernando Alonso. Now, what I'm going to be showing you in a minute is some absolutely fantastic AI versus AI battles, but we're going to be focusing on ourselves before we move on to them. So as you can see here, we're closing up to Alonso. We didn't quite get into the DRS zone, but the power and the speed of this Ferrari and the freshness of my tyres compared to Alonso's, who are 10 laps old, whereas mine are about 3 laps old, is much greater. And as you can see, into the first sector we go, down into turn 4 we go, and as I safely through on Fernando Alonso. Nice dive bomb there, keeping the car on the circuit, sorry, and that is us up into second place with Hulkenberg leading the race. But let's go and have a look at this, because I'm sorry, but these AIs had some absolutely fantastic battles, and I wanted to share it with you guys. So Ricciardo here makes a move on the Renault of, I believe it's Jolyon Palmer in the Renault, like I said. But these guys had some classic battles here. So Hamilton and Ricciardo both got the DRS here, but Hamilton's going to have to utilise the slipstream on Ricciardo. So you can see he's coming flying through here with the DRS. He's going to pull over to the right-hand side of the circuit, getting in the inside line into turn 1. As you can see here, Hamilton pulls over, and it is going to be a beautiful move here for Hamilton. But Ricciardo's going to stick with it. Into turn 2 we go. Ricciardo sticks with it, and he's going to stay in his, what I believe is the net second place in this Grand Prix. But Hamilton still fights as they go round turn 3 here. Hamilton and Ricciardo side by side. Great action here as they now make the charge up towards turn 4. Who's going to get into front? Who's Hose? I think I said Hose, my bad. Who's going to get in front? It's going to be Lewis Hamilton. Ricciardo's still there though, but Ricciardo has to give the space eventually. But Ricciardo's going to fight back here. As you can see, Ricciardo now going to make a move down the inside of Lewis Hamilton into the into the final corner. I'm not getting any of my words out right at the moment, but as you can see here, Ricciardo makes a move stick, and it's a great move. But Hamilton's still there fighting him, and this time now Hamilton, you can see, charging here with the DRS. But Max Verstappen says, hello, I want a bit of this party, and he goes through on Lewis Hamilton, and now he's going to challenge Daniel Ricciardo for a position of his own here. So the two Red Bulls now fighting as Hamilton has been swamped with the lack of DRS that he's got, and Lewis Hamilton has to settle for what is now a net 4th place in this Grand Prix, but the two Red Bulls still fighting along quite nicely here. Verstappen and Ricciardo giving it everything as we're looking on board with Lewis Hamilton here, and Verstappen has got in front of Ricciardo. Ricciardo tries to have a little look into turn 4, it's just not enough, and Verstappen gains 2 places, whereas Ricciardo only gains to 1. So as you can see here now, they're all attacking the Manas here, and I believe Verstappen's gone off into the pits. Ricciardo goes through on the Mana. We've got Lewis Hamilton flying, trying to get somewhere, getting really close to Ricciardo's rear diffuser. Vettel, Bottas, and Rosberg are all there. The Mana dips off into the pits, so now we've got Ricciardo versus Hamilton versus Vettel versus Bottas versus Rosberg. A massive set of drivers here. Hamilton here with the DRS going into the slipstream of Ricciardo, moving over to the right hand side of the circuit here, breaking into turn 1 we go. Can Lewis Hamilton get the move done? He does this time. Hamilton in the inside here, and he gets moved done, but Ricciardo is not going to give this battle up real easily. He's going to go right up to Lewis Hamilton here. A very close maneuver there, but Ricciardo has to succumb to the position, and Lewis Hamilton gets the move done as we now look on board from Ricciardo's perspective here, as Vettel fancies a little run on Ricciardo into turn 4. Vettel will not make the move stick here as he starts to make a fight back from his horrific start here, but as you can see, Ricciardo's got the DRS once again on Hamilton, but Hamilton has actually pulled away a little bit, but Vettel's now going to make a move on Daniel Ricciardo down the inside into the last corner. Vettel makes that move stick on Ricciardo, and I can tell you, Vettel is absolutely flying, setting fastest laps whilst battling these guys. So he was definitely a worry for me in this Grand Prix, but now he's got his sights set on Lewis Hamilton. Can he actually make the move stick into turn 1? Vettel right up to Lewis Hamilton's gearbox, but it's not enough, and he's going to have to wait a little bit longer. Vettel, as you can see here, though, fancies to run on Lewis Hamilton down into the hairpin. A new spot for Vettel here as he tries to fight his way up the field. Vettel, can he make it stick down the inside? He can't. Lewis Hamilton holds it around the outside, and Vettel has to wait a little bit longer, but that Ferrari is extremely, extremely powerful. Of course, I'm driving one, and he's bound to get past that Mercedes car very, very soon. But as you can see here, as they come swooping through the left and right-handers and making their way toward the back straight now. Second to last corner complete. Now it is the long drag down the back straight. We've got Vettel versus Hamilton versus Ricciardo. Rosberg now gets in front of Bottas as he sets to hunt down these three drivers up ahead. But can Hamilton hold off Vettel for that little bit longer? Coming into the second to last corner, Vettel can't quite get past Hamilton. Actually has to brake a little earlier as he nearly ran into the back of Hamilton with the speed that he was carrying into the corner. But moving on onto the pit straight here, onto a brand new lap here. Vettel now getting into the slipstream of Lewis Hamilton. He's going to pull over to the right hand side of the circuit like everyone else does on AIs because they don't seem to know how to do any other overtakes. And down the inside into turn 1, Vettel makes a move on Hamilton's stick, and now his sights are purely set on hunting me. Because, of course, Vettel is a hell of a lot quicker than me in this Grand Prix during this stage of the race. You can already see Vettel pulling away now. Ricciardo, though, goes for an inside move down. Inside move down the inside? Whatever, we're just going to go with it. My grammar's brilliant anyway, so it doesn't matter. But as you can see here, Ricciardo makes the move stick, and Lewis Hamilton here with the DRS. Well, he can't get the DRS, actually. Ricciardo gets 2 bites of the cherry. But you can see Lewis Hamilton's going to stick in the slipstream. Will he make the move stick on Ricciardo? He's going to go for it again. Fair enough to Lewis Hamilton. No DRS for him, but he's going to try here. Down the inside of turn 1. He will make the move stick, but Ricciardo will no doubt fight back into turn 2, and that's exactly what he does. And he actually carries a lot more speed and a lot more momentum there, but Hamilton's still going with it. Hamilton side by side Ricciardo, round turn 3 we go. Such close wheel-to-wheel action here with the two title rivals, not really title rivals, but you know what I mean. Into turn 4 we go. Lewis Hamilton takes the move on Daniel Ricciardo. Ricciardo's still there, just trying to creep his nose in, but just like last time he has to hold off. But Ricciardo is still not done with Lewis Hamilton. He still wants to fight Hamilton really, really hard in this Grand Prix, and into the last corner we go. Vettel, you can see, is off into the distance now. It's a straight fight between Ricciardo and Hamilton, with Rosberg just a little bit further behind here. But once again, Ricciardo with the DRS is going to get that advantage of straight line speed, but Hamilton's getting the power of the slipstream and the Mercedes engine, and will no doubt get in front. But this time, actually, Hamilton doesn't get the move done, unfortunately for him. He has not got the position on Ricciardo, and he's going to have to sit back and wait for maybe another maneuver. Unfortunately, that was all that happened with the AI battles. I thought that was absolutely insane. Some fantastic scraps between them, lap after lap, and they're really going for it. But on to lap 17 of the Grand Prix now. We're going to focus back on myself as I make another horrific entry into the pits here. So now we've got a bit of a concern, and that is simple. We had about an 8-second lead over those drivers all having those battles. However, that gap dropped to about 3 seconds because Sebastian Vettel, I'm going to say it straight, was in a class of his own. He was absolutely phenomenal in his lap times. I was probably lapping in the 139s. Vettel was setting fastest laps in the 137s. He was 2 seconds quicker than me in the middle stint. I hate the hard tyres. I'm going to say it straight. I do not like the hard compound tyres. I do not like them, but we're going on to a new set of them because they're bloody durable. If they weren't durable, I'd ditch them straight away because I hate the hard tyres. But Vettel was so much faster than I was, and he cut the gap to 3 seconds. So I'm now really concerned here because now Vettel here on lap 21 has made his pit stop and he is right on my gearbox. So you saw how quickly he managed to fight through the field with Hamilton and Ricciardo, Bottas and Rosberg. Now let's see what he can do against the championship leader. So here we go here. We're going to have a fight with Vettel. So as you can see, Vettel's going to pull over to what is going to be the inside line. He's going to try and slip us here. He actually hits the rear of our car. Loses a bit of his front wing as he tries to slipstream us, but gets a bit too close there. And we do manage to fend off Vettel for the first time in this Grand Prix. He's probably going to be complaining that we're playing a bit of ping pong right now. But it doesn't matter. Vettel, I'm happy to play some ping pong if you are. And as you can see here, coming down towards someone, Will Vettel make the move stick. Nope, he's going to have to tuck right into my rear diffuser. And this time Vettel doesn't get the move stick. Doesn't make the move stick, and he's going to have to wait just that little bit longer to try and get some sort of maneuver. But as you can see here, Vettel looking very, very handsome for a move round us. Again, my grammar is terrible. I'm really sorry, guys. My grammar is horrific. But as you can see here, into turn 4, will Vettel make a move? Not quite, unfortunately. He's too far back to make a move. And this is going to start frustrating Vettel. That's something that the other AI drivers couldn't do to Vettel. They couldn't get him frustrated. They couldn't wind him up. And luckily, I will. So we're going to carry on forth. As you can see here, coming through the middle sector again, making a little bit of a mess of this middle sector, and quite frankly I made a mess of it the whole time. But Vettel here does fancy a move on us. Actually, he got a fantastic bit of traction out of those triple right-handers, and he's going to go for it down around the outside, into the hairpin. We're going to defend the inside line, and we're going to give Vettel some space here, but unfortunately it's not enough. He's going to have to sit back for a little bit longer here on lap 22 of the Malaysian Grand Prix. But as you can see, we're now still carrying on with the clip, and of course we've got the back straight and the pit straight to come, which are just never-ending long straights of death. So this is going to be all in Vettel's favour. He should theoretically get the move done, but well, let's see what happens. As you can see here, Vettel opens the DRS wide, and as you can see, he's now into the slipstream of my car, but he's not actually close enough to make a move. He's not. So he's not going to make the move stick into the back straight and into the last corner, which means he's going to have to carry his speed and momentum in the DRS and slipstream and everything overpowered in this game all the way over to turn 1. So as you can see, he pulls over to the left-hand side of the circuit, not getting that inside traditional line that he usually takes. But as you can see, Vettel does get in front of us, but we're going to use the power of my brakes, and we're going to get into the leads. We're going to give Vettel some space into turn 2. No, we're not. I'm just going to shut the door completely on him. I'm not giving him any space to come through to turn 2 because I want to win this Grand Prix, and I've led every single lap bar 1, so I'm kind of not interested in that. So we're going to keep on pushing onwards here. On to lap 23 of the Grand Prix. Now, this is a little bit further ahead. The virtual safety car decided to come out. It was like, yo, I just want to come out and neutralise the race because I'm boring. That's kind of what the virtual safety car is. But as you can see then, onto lap 23, we are now increasing our speed. I put the car into rich fuel mixture, and we use the virtual safety car cheat, and we get a nice little gap. And that means we've actually pulled away from Sebastian Vettel, which is very, very nice. And I will take that any day of the week. So, onto lap 23 of the Grand Prix, moving on to lap 24 of the Grand Prix, we're going to be much in front, and it takes Vettel until lap 27 to come back at us in this Grand Prix. So as you can see, into this swooping left and right-handers, braking hard into the second to last corner. Vettel is now going to get the DRS once again, and he's going to become overpowered once again. So as you can see here, the DRS goes open right there, and we're going to actually defend. I believe we defend the inside line. Yep, that's kind of traditional. We always do that because it works every time, hence why I do it. But as you can see, we force Vettel very, very wide there. Little bit aggressive for myself. No contact, so it's fair, all fair and love and war. Just a little bit less room between the pair of us. As we come down the pit straight here, we're onto the final lap now of this Grand Prix. Vettel has been giving it everything to try and close back in on us. We've actually done quite well in terms of our pace in those after the virtual safety car, but Vettel looking very fancy, looking very good for a move here, as I still mess up my grammar because I'm a complete retard. But as you can see here, coming through turn 3, Vettel may make a move for us into turn 4. In fact, Vettel's got great traction out of turn 3, but there's just not enough time, so I've got enough time to go into the racing line and take turn 4 normally, rather than taking a dumb line and giving Vettel an even easier opportunity to pass me. So as you can see, we're coming now through this middle sector here, as we're just looking to try and find all of the strength and all of the power in this Ferrari car, with again more engine problems, which, if you're trying to cause any excuses, happened on lap 26 if you guys are interested. So my Ferrari engine is crap. But as you can see, we're not taking that into consideration. Vettel here got some great traction again out of the triple right-handers around the outside, into the head when we go. We're going to shove our hand at Vettel, give him a little wave there. And as you can see, we're still in front of Vettel as we try and wave him goodbye, as we're going to try and win this Malaysian Grand Prix. I do not want to let Vettel win this Grand Prix. Vettel had a horrific start. He's trying to fight his way through the field, and I've led every single lap comfortably without this little bugger behind me. So I want to win this Grand Prix, and I will blow him up if necessary in order to win this Grand Prix. So we're going to do everything we can. Round the final, second to last corner here, we get a very, very wide entrance, but it's going to give us a lot of speed down the back straight. Unfortunately, Vettel's got DRS wide open here. He's going to pull over to the right-hand side of the circuit, going to give him the outside line. This is what Ricciardo did on the last lap last season for Red Bull, and he got the move stuck. So this time we're going to take our time with this move, and round the inside of Vettel we go, nice and comfortable, and Vettel loses out on the second to last in the final corner, and we're going to come through and win the Malaysian Grand Prix. A fantastic result for myself, starting from pole position and coming through and converting the win here. A great result for myself in this Grand Prix, but we can't complain. It's a 1-2 again for Ferrari. So despite the fact that Vettel has awful starts every single time, he seems to definitely be able to pull it back in the Grand Prix. So as you can see there, confirmation of my victory and my brilliance. But into the full race, race post-mortem, as you would say. I was slow, man. That was one of the luckiest wins I think I've ever had. Like, literally, I was awful in this Grand Prix, and I'll explain it why. Again, my grammar is crap today. I don't know. Literally, just put in the comments, #Foxy can't speak. Give him some speech lessons or something. I said speech. I'm actually done. Anyway, so on the medium compound tyres, we managed to go further than anybody else, which was fine. We managed to keep our gap going. But as soon as we went onto those hard compound tyres, I was the slowest driver, I think, on the field. Like, if Hamilton, Ricciardo, Vettel weren't fighting against backmarkers and fighting against each other, I would be in a world of problems. And Vettel was look at the classification. I was in the 138s. Vettel, Hamilton, Ricciardo, many other drivers were all in the 37s. So they were so much faster than I were. And they were lapping in the 37s while I was lapping in the 39s. Showing how slow I was on that Grand Prix. But anyway, in terms of the driver standings, we increased our lead over Lewis Hamilton by 10 points, leaving the gap to, I believe, it's now 84 points. Vettel moves in front of Nico Rosberg in the championship, putting him into third place. In the constructor standings, Ferrari start to pull away even more from Mercedes-Benz as we start to dominate this season now with the successive 1-2s. But guys, that is going to be it for the Malaysian Grand Prix. If you did enjoy the AI versus AI battles, drop a like, that'd be absolutely awesome. Subscribe if you're on the around here as well. It's become super close to beating Hamilton in the rivalry. Not done just yet. But we are going to be making an engine upgrade for the Japanese Grand Prix, which will be the next episode. And yeah, I will see you guys for a brand new video very, very soon. Take care all.